Hey everyone, welcome back to this channel. My name is Aditi. Hope you all are doing well. This is our very fourth session wherein we'll discuss R3 architecture of SAP. So, what is SAP R3 architecture? The R in the R slash 3 stands for the real time and 3 stands for the 3-tier architecture. As the name itself suggests, it has a 3 layers that we can see on the screen, which are presentation layer, application layer, and the database layer. Okay, let's take a look about what all activities are performed in these 3 layers. This is the diagram which represents your R3 architecture. The first and the topmost layer which comes is your presentation layer. The presentation layer presents the end users, which are nothing but those who use the SAP GUI, how an SAP system looks at the front end for performing the transaction. Like these are nothing but the operations of the end users. Okay. This layer consists of GUI. GUI stands for the graphical user interface, an interface which connects the system and the end users to perform their transactions. GUIs are installed in the system to use the application. Each and every user system has a GUI application installed in it. All the users, those who are accessing into the SAP system, has a GUI application in them. Now these end users can be your client or the customer or maybe an individual user as well. Now this presentation layer receives the data from the input device and send it to the application server, which is your second most layer in the architecture to process the data further, and responsible to receive the process data from the application layer and send the same to the device where the result requires to display. Okay. Now this input device can be your mobile devices, can be your browsers or front-end GUI systems, and so on. Basically the job of the presentation layer is to take the input, whatever, like say for example the end user is doing some activity from his end, he'll take that as an input and give it to the application layer for the data to process further. Okay, this was the only job of the presentation layer. Now next come the application layer. Okay, this is the intermediate layer in the diagram. Now this application layer is also called as the heart of the architecture. Okay, the main and the important activities is been carried out in this layer itself. As you can see over here, an application server consists of the multiple instances like application server 1, application server 2 till application server n. There might be any number of application server in it. Like the application server can be one or multiple. The main job of the application layer is that it takes the input from the presentation layer. This layer is the one where the entire work is carried out for all your actions are processed at this place itself. It communicates to the database layer, which is your third layer in the architecture, with the input received from the presentation layer. Like it takes the input from the presentation layer, processes the input and sends the result back to the presentation layer. Okay, the application layer contains the ABAP runtime environment where the ABAP programs are executed. All these services are distributed to one or more than one application server, like you can see over here. Now it also contains one more component, which is your message server. Okay, messaging server contains the information about the application groups and the load balancing information. It is responsible for the communication between the existing application servers. Like say for example application server 1 want to communicate with the application server 2, it will make the use of the message server 2 to do so. Okay, without this layer this architecture is like useless. It plays a very important role in this architecture. And now the database layer. Each SAP system architecture will have a central database in which the entire data is stored. Everything like the customer reports, whether it may be programs, just about like anything which needs to be stored, it is maintained in this very level itself. Normally this database layer installs on the different server due to the security, performance or processing issues. Okay, this layer is responsible for processing the request from the application layer and sends back the required information. Okay, that was all for the database layer. Now all these 3 layers can be either installed in the same machine or can be installed in the different individuals machines. Okay, hope you all have understand the architecture of SAP R3. And also one more thing, this was our last theoretical session From next session onwards, we will start the practical sessions. So stay tuned. We will meet in the next session. Till that, bye bye. Take care.